Hey, what's going on? This is Seth with SethPerler.com. I'm an executive function coach out of Boulder, Colorado, and I help struggling students navigate this thing called school and education. And today it's the end of April, and on this Sunday, I have my students coming in early, and I'm going to talk to you today about you parents and teachers about batching work, or chunking, as I usually frame it. But basically, what's going on is it's the end of the year, and if your student, if your child is dealing with the executive function issues, then at this part of the year, this is what I call the Hail Mary part of the semester. Why do I call it Hail Mary? Well, here in Colorado, we have May, and then schools, for most of my kids, school is over at the end of May. So during Hail Mary time, my students, my middle and high school students, are dealing with their makeup work, because most of my students who struggle with executive function struggle with missings and completes, late work, and stuff like that. So they're dealing with makeup work, but they're also dealing with current work that they're supposed to be managing, and they're also dealing with what's coming up. And right now during Hail Mary time, what's coming up is what I call Pepper. Pepper is 4 things: large papers, exams, projects, and reading assignments. These are all long-term assignments, and my students are notoriously not great at long-term planning, and they're also not realistic about the amount of time and energy it takes to do their work. So during this Hail Mary time, it really is make it or break it time. This is the time when students who really continue avoiding really shoot themselves in the foot and end up having to take summer school or retake classes in the fall or fail classes or whatever. And students who devote some time and energy into getting done what they need to get done, do well or do well enough. So at this time, when I'm dealing with kids who are struggling with executive function, during this Hail Mary time, when they're dealing with Pepper, when they're dealing with these long-term assignments, what I like to do is teach them how to chunk or how to batch work. So this is something I preach for my students all the time anyway, but for you parents and teachers, I want you to be particularly aware of this now. It is Sunday. My students are here from 3 to 9 today. Now, they're not all here. They don't have to be here during that time, but I have blocked out 6 hours for today, and I've done that 3 times during the end of the year so that students can really batch, so that they can really get here into the office and they can really focus. They can really dive into work. What happens is these kids often think, oh yeah, I'll finish my paper in an hour, or I'll finish this assignment in a half hour. And usually it takes about a half hour for them just to even get started for kids who struggle with executive function. So what we want to do is batch large batches of relaxed time. We'll be having dinner in the middle of it tonight, and they can just really come in, make a plan for what they got to do today. I really want my students tonight, for the 6-hour period, I really want them to focus on 1, 2, or 3 things. Like if they have an exam coming up, really devoting real time to studying for that exam, not just trying to cram it, but really learning to study. If they're working on a paper, I want them to really dive into the process of writing the paper, not rush through it just to get it done. If they have to read, I don't want them to read one chapter. I want them to really dive in, really engage with the book that they're doing. And if they're doing a project, again, this was Pepper, I want them to really engage and really be into doing the project. So often our kids want to rush through this stuff and get it done. But for these kids, it's really important to help them structure their time. So you parents and teachers, I really want you to encourage your kids to be structuring large blocks or chunks or batches of time to focus on a few key projects, so that they're not rushing through it. They're really being realistic that this is going to take a long time. You take a half of a Sunday or a half of a Saturday or an evening when nothing's going on, and you really say, let's focus just on this one thing. Anyhow, very short vlog I wanted to share with you today, just to tell you what I'm doing with my students, and hopefully you can use some of this information to apply it to yours. Again, my name is Seth with SethPerler.com. I'm an executive function coach out of Boulder, Colorado. If you haven't subscribed to my website, SethPerler.com, I send out a free vlog every single week, helping you figure out how to help struggling students, and I send out a free mini course to help struggling students succeed. So go ahead and sign up on my site, and if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, click the YouTube button, thumbs up it if you like what I'm doing, please share it, and leave a comment. What do you think? Do you like to help your students batch? Parents, teachers, is there any advice that you can give people about how you chunk things down so that kids can actually accomplish what they need to accomplish? What do you think? Leave a comment below on YouTube. Have a fantastic day. I will see you soon.